Students, welcome. Charles Oswald, who's the Executive Vice President Emeritus of the Medical Society of the State of New York and on our Advisory Council. Charles, thank you for joining us. As well as our keynote speaker, who will be introduced in a few minutes, Rear Admiral Pamela Schweitzer, Doctor of Pharmacy. You, students, will be taught by the best professors, by the best staff in the United States. And I make that pledge to you, and I made that pledge to Gloria Meredith when we hired her. And she's done an outstanding job of bringing the best talent possible to the School of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences. To do that, to attract those great faculty, the great staff, requires a great place, because they want a great place that they can go to every day. And I think we've done an outstanding job with Gloria's leadership to create an outstanding place in Johnson City, the new School of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences building that will have things that most schools of pharmacy don't have, like a sterile lab, a state-of-the-art compounding lab, simulation bays, as well as a residential home setting for home care. You may take it for granted after a while, and that's good. That's the way we wanted it to be, as if it's almost natural that you should be trained in the best building with the best equipment in the United States. At the same time, you were at the heart of one of the biggest transformations in the Binghamton area's history. As you probably have heard or listened to or read, Johnson City was a center of a huge amount of industrial activity 2 centuries ago, at the late 1800s, when the Endicott Johnson's shoe factory employed thousands, tens of thousands of workers. That's all gone now. Abandoned, vacant, torn down, buried into the ground. But we remember that legacy, and we are pledging ourselves to rebuild Johnson City. Just as we did downtown Binghamton when we moved our College of Community and Public Affairs there, with 700 students and 50 faculty, transforming downtown Binghamton from what was a dark and dirty and dangerous urban city in the Northeast, undergoing the Rust Belt phenomenon that many cities had, to what now is considered one of the best college towns in America. But Johnson City, even smaller in footprint than downtown Binghamton, will have over 1,000 students in just a few years when we move our School of Nursing, as well as the School of Pharmacy there, and over 200 faculty and staff. The impact will be twice as big on an area that's half the size. It will be transformative, and you will see the next 4 years of it. We've invested over $100 million in Johnson City, provided by the state of New York, certainly with the assistance of Governor Cuomo, Senator Akshar, Senator Libous, and Assemblywoman Lombardo. We have a lot to be grateful for them. But at the same time, over $120 million of private development funds have been invested in Johnson City to make it not just a recovering industrial site, but also a vibrant college town of the future. And anticipating in the next several years, industrial partnerships that will bring pharmaceutical companies into the Johnson City area. Your education is going to be different as well. As you have learned through when you were being recruited, the educational process through our pharmacy program will emphasize research. And many of you will be working at teaching hospitals after you graduate, or in research laboratories, or in industrial research laboratories. And many of you will be working in retail. However, you will also be trained in the state-of-the-art robotics systems used in pharmaceutical production facilities. Our goal, and our goal as a university, but our goal as a School of Pharmacy, Pharmaceutical Science, is to have great patient outcomes, lower cost of healthcare, and create new breakthroughs that will save lives for our future citizens. So congratulations, School of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences new students. Good luck on your journey.
Thank you, President Stenger. I now want to introduce Dr. Charles Oswald. who will welcome you on behalf of the Dean's Advisory Council. Dr. Oswald is the Executive Vice President Emeritus of the Medical Society of New York. But more importantly, he's a very strong supporter of this school. And he is a Binghamton University graduate. Dr. Oswald.
Thank you very much, Dean Meredith. I am deeply honored to have been asked on behalf of the Advisory Council to bring a welcome to the new class of 2022. The Advisory Council is a group of very dedicated individuals that represent virtually every phase of pharmacy that you can think of. Academics, business people, research people, retail people, and in addition to that group in the Advisory Council are leaders from this community that represent the business community, non-pharmacy, that represent the arts, that represent the leadership of many not-for-profit organizations with very high ideals. And all of them have been dedicated to bringing Dean Meredith and President Stenger's vision for this new addition to Binghamton University to life. And you and your families should know that you are a very, very special class. You enjoy what many pharmacy students in this country at very established schools of pharmacy do not have. You have an opportunity, as President Stenger mentioned, to be trained in one of the highest level of pharmacy training available in this country. But in addition, you have a responsibility which many years ago, more years than I want to mention, that I had as one of the inaugural classes at Harper College, which, like this school, was a new school at that time, virtually unknown in the United States, that we're told as entering students that not only did we have an opportunity to be the best we could be in the professions that we were going to select, but we had the opportunity to build a school, and you have an opportunity to build a school. Because as you build your careers, you will be building the reputation of this school. It's an awesome responsibility. You will be joining a great profession, a profession as old as recorded time, because every society has looked to individuals among them to bring the healing arts to that population. Pharmacists, whatever you called them centuries ago, medicine men, shamans, whatever they were called, they were the pharmacists of the past, and you are the pharmacists of the future. And you will bring, along with your dream of becoming members of the healthcare teams of the future, regardless of what phase of pharmacy you ultimately enter, you will have that opportunity to be among the first classes that attended what our advisory council, what this administration believe will be the finest pharmacy school on the planet. And you will be the finest pharmacist that the world has ever seen as you enter into the future. We wish you every success in your venture.
Thank you very much, Charles, for those words of welcome. So at this time, I would like to recognize our donors who, through their generosity, made this ceremony possible. We're very pleased to recognize Innovation Associates, Dr. John Darcy, CVS, Walgreens, and Naima Krajian. all of whom gave generous donations to make this possible today. So it's my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Rear Admiral Pamela Schweitzer. She's the Chief Professional Officer of Pharmacy in the nation and for the United States Public Health Service. She is also the Assistant Surgeon General and has oversight of the Public Health Service pharmacy programs and professional affairs for the Office of the Surgeon General and the Department of Health and Human Services. She is the first woman in the nation's history to hold this post. She has her PharmD from the University of California, San Francisco, and completed her residency at the University of California, Irvine Medical Center. She's held many positions of prominence over the years in the Indian Health Service, the Veterans Administration, and currently with the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. She has received accolades for her many accomplishments, as well as numerous awards, including the coveted American Pharmacists Association Distinguished Federal Pharmacist Award. Please join me in welcoming Rear Admiral Schweitzer to speak to you today.
Thank you very much. It's wonderful to be here today. President Stinger, the faculty, all the families, students, Dean Meredith, it's really, really a pleasure for me to be here. I actually came in yesterday, and before I get started on my comments, I had the honor of being able to get a tour of the new school, and it is so awesome. Being able to walk through all the buildings, you have cutting-edge technology, everything is high-tech. It's like absolutely wonderful, and how great that they had the vision to put this together, and what an honor it is for the class of 2022 to start out this way. So there's a lot of expectations for you, and I know that down the road, fast forward 5 years from now, that when you visit with someone and they see how great you are, what school did you come from? You can proudly say you came from Binghamton, and that everybody's going to want to oh man, that's a school to go to. And that's how it starts, right? It starts that way. So it's an honor for me to be able to be here because this is really a key day for all of you. It's a really key day for all of you. And this is, what I'm going to do is take a few minutes and spend some time just getting you to think about some of these things of what this really means to be a professional in this career of pharmacy. And you're going to have a doctor of pharmacy degree in 4 years. So I'll give you some thoughts. And what Dean Meredith didn't say is that I do a lot of hiking and I'm outdoors a lot. And one of the reasons why I go do that is because my cell phone doesn't work. I'm not plugged into anything. And then it gives me time for me to think about things. So I have a lot of time to think about just life. I have a lot of time to think about just what makes things tick. And I process all of that. So what I'm doing is I'm sharing with you tidbits of this information that I've thought a lot about, and I'm hoping that it resonates with you and that you can take it to heart as you continue in your career, because it was meaningful to me, and I'll tell you what, the little stories that go along with it, so hopefully it's meaningful to you. You're starting the journey today, and it's not only learning and gaining knowledge, but learning what it means to be a professional. And that's what the white coat is all about. And before I started in my current position, and this is for all the families here too, before I started in my current position, my husband, he gave me a copy of this book, the Dr. Seuss book. It's Oh, the Places You'll Go. Have you heard that book? You haven't? Well, I hadn't seen it. I must have missed it when I was a kid. Anyway, I thought it was kind of weird. Why is he giving me this kid's book? But inside, he had written this note, and it was touching. And I still keep it, I look at that, and it was a note of support, encouragement, and confidence that I'm going to be the best professional. He had so much to support for me in my career and the difference that I was going to make, not only in the world of pharmacy, but just in healthcare. He just believed in me way back then. And it meant a lot to me then. And I know right now, for all the families that are here, you're thinking that right now in your family too. Your family's believing you that strongly. And they're proud of your accomplishments and they're proud of what you're going to be doing. So if I'm remembering correctly, I'm looking at the faculty here, do they learn like about over-the-counter medications at all this first year, first semester? Okay, so this is for the families. For the first semester, what's going to end up happening, you're going to be so proud. If you're providing any support, you're going to see some benefits from this at the holidays. So what will happen is they're going to learn. It's like one of the most fun things, and it makes you feel so proud to be a pharmacy student. When you come home and what you do, and this is for the families, you need to ask them questions about drugs. Go to the drugstore, go to the pharmacy, and go in the OTC section, and they can tell you about how every drug works. So that is so neat because they can help you go pick out. You know how like right now you go and which one do I select? They're going to be able to help you do that selection. So that's how you can help them, is challenge them and have them give you an answer. They're going to be real good at this. And the instructors, professors, keep in mind that the parents are going to be asking them. So anyway, so today represents a significant milestone in your professional life, and you're going to notice that not only today, but anytime you put that white coat on, it's going to inspire confidence and trust among patients. So think about it. When you see somebody in the white coat, what do you think about that person? And now they're going to be thinking that about you. You wear the coat, when you put it on, you're going to stand straighter, you're going to walk different. And when people look at you, they assume you have those attributes that go along with being a healthcare professional. And it's even for me, when I put on the uniform, I'm a different person versus if I was in my jeans or a t-shirt. I don't put my feet up on the table. I don't jaywalk. You act different when you're in the white coat. You're going to act different when you're in the white coat. It represents an important step in the quest to inspire attitudes of humanism and professionalism. Humanism, it's about having a respectful and compassionate relationship between you, the pharmacist, your patients, and other members of the healthcare team. It reflects attitudes and behaviors that are sensitive to the values and the cultural and ethnic background of others. So becoming a professional means that you've committed yourself to excellence and you've accepted that responsibility to learn, grow, and mature. And professionalism can't be taught. It's nurtured over time. So it's how you treat people, too. It's how you treat people. It's about being respectful. It's about being genuine. It's about being humble and realizing you don't know everything. And professionalism is like trust, and it's something you earn from your patients and your peers. So if this sounds like, yeah. And I'm just saying because I remember I heard the same thing. Yeah, I know all that. What ends up happening is you actually learn your whole career. You learn about all this. And you get experiences and you go, oh, now I know what they're talking about. Now I know what this means. And I'm going to tell you what here, and I probably should tell you, I'm going to take a little halt here a little bit before I go on and tell another story, and tell those of you in the audience a little bit about the Public Health Service. So I'm here, I'm in uniform, and you probably go, well, who is she? They let me know in the introduction, but I'll just tell you a little bit more about what we do and about what public health is. And this is why I ended up I started out as a student wanting to learn just like you're going to be doing all this, and something inside, there's a passion inside that takes you down a different path. And all of you are going to have that passion somewhere along the way. You're going to see something and it's going to resonate with you and you're going to go down that path. So I decided I'd take a few minutes and just share a little bit with you about their service and what we do. So there's 6,700 officers throughout the United States. We all are under the Surgeon General. As was mentioned, I'm over the pharmacy, all the pharmacy discipline. There's about 1,300 of us, and we're spread out in several different agencies, not only the Department of Health and Human Services, but departments like the Bureau of Prisons and the Coast Guard. We even have officers that are in the National Park Service. So anywhere where there's public health, we have officers. And it's not only pharmacy, we have physicians, nurses, dentists, we have veterinarians, We have sanitarians, dietitians, so anything that's involved with public health. So now what's public health mean? And what I'm going to do is share a story with you, and it's from my good friend, it's Dr. Rishi Manchanda, and he's a physician, and it's a story he told, and I think it just tells it really well, and it's easy to remember this. So this is a story about 3 friends. They come down to the river, they're going to have lunch. So they sit down, they put everything out, and all of a sudden, friend number 1 notices, hey, there's someone drowning. I am the best swimmer. I goes, I'm the best swimmer, I'll go save him. So he went in, jumped in the river, and saved the person. All of a sudden, here comes another one. He went and got another one. So he jumped in again, the river again. He was bringing them all in. And all of a sudden, they noticed all these people coming down the stream. Friend number 2 said, I got a better way. There's a raft over here. I'm going to go pull more people. There's too many people coming down the stream. So what happened is after a while, they'll keep on coming down the stream. They're getting tired. You know, it's like you can't do this forever. I didn't get a chance to finish my food that we came down here for. I can't go on. We need more help. Where is more help? So the second one was bringing more people on this raft, bringing them off out of the river. Then they go, well, where's the third friend? They should be helping. The third friend had gone upstream, way upstream, and said, I'm figuring out why people are falling in the river. That's what public health is about. Public health is about like solving that problem. It's not just the front end taking care. You still need those people, but we've got to solve the other problem on the front end of what's causing people to fall in the river. So the areas that we work on, you hear about tobacco cessation, immunizations, all these preventive nutrition, dietitians, you know, working, changing the diet, housing. There's all these other areas that impact people, and that's the world that I'm in, and that's what the Surgeon General, that's what we're working on, the opioid crisis, going back and looking at what is causing all this. So we can spend a lot of time on the treatment end. We're the public health service, we're trying to be on the other end, solving the reason for that. So you can see I found a passion, and I know each one of you are going to find that same passion along the way. So let's talk about what it's like to learn something different, get different points of view. And some of these stories that I'm going to share with you are things that impacted me. Remember, I'm on the hike, and I think about that a lot. And I go, this changed me when I had this happen. And it changed me in a good way to be able to kind of get it. So this one story, I was working on an Indian reservation, and I was the pharmacy director there. And I was one of the ones they just brought in. The tribe took over instead of the government running the hospital and the clinic. The tribe came in and take over, and they wanted the government gone. They wanted to do it their own way because they didn't like how the government was running the hospital. So I was one of the new ones they hired when I came in there, and they said we wanted a better care. We need better care in our hospital. So no problem, we can provide good care. So we had metrics that we were looking at. We wanted to reduce the wait times. We wanted to have better outcomes. Does it sound familiar to everybody? We wanted to just make the care, patients get the best care. We wanted to hire the best doctors, hire the best pharmacists, hire the best everybody. So they hired all of that, so with time's going on, they have everybody in place. Wait times have come down. You know, the metrics, the measures had improved. So on paper, it looked like the care was better. However, we go to the meeting with the tribe, the ones that were overseeing the health care for that community, and they said, no, you still don't have it. And we go, what? Everything's improved. And we did this a few times. We'd go every quarter and hear this. Finally, one day, one of the meetings, an elderly woman stood up, and what she said is in her native language. She talked for a long time, and everybody's like trying to describe what the problem is. She talked for a long time. Everybody was quiet. She was an elder. People respected her. She spoke for a while, and when she sat down, that was it. No one else had anything to say. She said it. So guess what she said? And this is what I'm going to tell you. This is the punchline. What she said is she wants people that are caring. They want people that care about them. They care about the families. It's not just checkbox, I got it done. Oh good, I'm seeing them, I'm done. They want someone that doesn't talk down to them, that doesn't make them feel like they did something wrong, that they didn't eat the right food or they didn't make their appointment, to talk down to them. and make them feel, so a lot of it was their perception of how they wanted someone that actually genuinely cared. When somebody died in their family, they would really be nice if the healthcare community would come, and that they cared for would come to the funeral, be part of their family, tell us about them. They wanted to learn about the healthcare professionals. They wanted to know about their families. They wanted to feel connected to the providers. They didn't want providers just coming and leaving and just taking care, I'm done for the day and leaving. So it made a profound effect because we realized that's actually the secret sauce. Think about places you go right now that you go over and over, they know you. And they know your name. They know about you. They know your family. And it could even be here in this community. Wherever you go back home, everybody knows you and how that feels. So it's going to take a class like you, the best class ever, 2022, here at Binghamton, that's going to actually change this. And you'll notice it makes a world of difference when you know it, and it's very satisfying for both the patients, their families, and you, the healthcare professionals. So professionalism, it's also our tone of voice. It's a body language. People pick up on that. One of the things that happened, I remember working in a pharmacy, and we were really busy, 1,000 prescriptions a day. So those of you that work there, it's like hustle, bustle, busy. And we were supposed to counsel everybody for new prescriptions. Well, sometimes when you're busy, it's easy to take shortcuts. What I learned, and I watch it, it was very interesting. We had counseling rooms, but when we're so busy, we don't have time to counsel. So here's and I'll just give you an example of what the body language and what that means, the body language and my voice. If you go up to the patient and they see you're busy, they see you're kind of moving quicker, and you say, anyway, here's your you have too many medicines, do you have any questions? And I can say it that nice, they see I'm busy. Do you think they're going to say, yes, I have a question? They're going to say, no, I'm good, I got it. But if I take them into a room where there's not that, they don't see behind me how busy everything is, and how are you doing today? Let's go over, you have a new medicine. Do you think they're going to have questions when it's not a line with people all around? 100% of the time, they have questions. So I just wanted to let you know that. I did this lots of times. And what happens, I realize that's not the right way to be. So what we need to do when we are busy is we need to make sure that these people with specific, that are complicated regimens, or we think they might have a problem, we need to take them into the room because they do have questions. And look at all the patients afterwards that they go home and I hear people on buses and traveling talking about their medicines, and they try to figure it out with their friends and everything at work. So I just wanted to let you know that, yeah, that's great, you counsel them, we can check that box, but that's not what being a healthcare professional is about. So you want to be someone that's easy to work with too. You want someone that everybody wants you on their team, and you play a key role on the team, and you want to be someone that everybody is well respected by everybody. So you learn how to do that. You learn how they're going to ask you a question, and you won't know the answer. And you don't have to fake it or say, an answer that you can just think because you're nervous. You can always, I do this all the time, you can always say, well, I'm pretty sure it's this, but let me go check and find out for sure. And then you get back to them right away. And they feel confident to know that you've checked and that answer you give them is accurate. So how are you going to get all this? How are you going to learn all this professionalism? And I'll tell you what, the answer is right here in this room. You're going to learn from this awesome faculty that you have. They're going to help cultivate professionalism. They're going to help guide you. They're going to develop your professional values. And you're going to learn how to have compassionate health and be compassionate health professionals. So back to Dr. Seuss. In that book, it says, you have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself any direction you choose. So throughout your career, you're going to have this infinite number of opportunities to demonstrate professionalism. I'll just give you another example that I had early on. It was, I was a student at the time, and what ended up happening was people would come in and they would have, need a medicine, and you look it up and you realize this is in the retail setting or a hospital setting, or hospital outpatient pharmacy setting, and you look and you see what's covered and you realize they may not have a drug that's covered or it requires a prior authorization or something like that that they can't get it that day. And so I had this family come in, and it was a Hispanic male. He didn't speak very good English. His family was there, his wife was there, his children were there, and they all came up and they handed me the prescriptions, and I saw this one was like a medicine that we were going to have to get a prior authorization for. And I was going to explain that to him that, you know, there's this process it has to go through, and then I realized they weren't going to understand this. And so what I just said, you know what, I have to take care of some stuff, can you come back tomorrow? So I went out of my way to go jump through a lot of hoops to make sure that he can get that medicine the next day. So did I have to do that, or could I have just put it in the pile? And part of it was because I knew it was very complicated. And so early on in my career, I spent a large part of my career figuring out how to wiggle through the medical system. And all of you, that's a skill that you need to learn, not only for yourself and for patients, but your families too. I feel that's like one of the most important things is learning how to get through the system. It's complicated, and then some of you that have energy help fix the system. So anyway, another example, this is on rounds, I'm giving this because this is going to show your value, and I know the physicians in the group are going to appreciate this. I was doing rounds, and when you're going on rounds, you're with other medical students, and there are any other disciplines, there might be other students that are with you going on the rounds, and this particular time it was an infectious disease rounds, and as we were going around, and I think we were talking about lots of people on rounds, going on rounds, the attending physician, who was always scary, they would ask the medical students questions. What's this? They'd ask them questions, and the medical students, you're all, getting nervous and answering their answers, but they were asking the medical students questions about drugs. And of course, we, standing up tall with our white coats, we're very confident because we know the answers, but we're letting the medical students answer. Well, the attending, this particular time, the attending was giving them such a hard time afterwards for not knowing it. So afterwards, we went up to the medical students, hey, we know what they're going to ask you. Let's get together before we go on rounds, and we'll teach you everything you know so you look good in front of your attending. So we started doing that. Do you think those medical students love pharmacists? Yes, they do. Of course they do. So anyway, it's about being a team. It's about working together. So it's not about who's going to show somebody up. So that's professionalism. So being a professional means performing to the best of your ability and not taking shortcuts, as I already mentioned, even if everyone else is doing it. So there's a lot of steps and processes to manage a patient, and you want to be the one to do it the right way and encourage others to do it the right way. So it's not about the checkbox, it's about doing the right thing. So you're coming into this profession when there's just all this new technology, science, and you're going to be part of all of it. There's going to be new tools and information coming at you. You're right on the cusp of everything changing in the healthcare system. It is like the best, you're coming in at the best time. And it's easy to get lost in all of this. So it's important never to focus on why you're doing it. It's about the mission. I've had that grilled into me since I first came out of school. It's about the mission. You have to be stepping back and looking at the big picture of why all this is going on. And make sure you always bring up the patient. You should be the one to always, what about the patient? Where I am right now, we have lots of discussions about policy, and I'm the one that always says, well, how is this going to impact the patients? I'm always the one, they can guarantee I'm always going to bring that up. So they start now, they look at me because they know I'm going to bring it up. Learning to give your full attention and listen to patients and have compassion is really important. And appreciate and understand their personal and cultural point of view. So learning to effectively communicate with patients and colleagues will take you a long way to connect with them. And don't underestimate just the value of having to have common sense and to learn how to apply all this information. So being a professional is doing more than expected. It's not about a time clock. You're part of a healthcare team. So when the team stays, you stay. And it's about, I've had this privilege of working underneath our Surgeon General. The current Surgeon General is Dr. Jerome Adams, wonderful man. And we're always working on initiatives right now and behaviors to be a healthier nation. And one of our big focus is partnerships. So these relationships that you develop over time and working together partners, there's no way we can do it together. The healthcare system can't. It has to, because we're partners with the community. So you're going to have opportunities to get involved in your community. And I strongly recommend that. You're going to be in a position to be able to influence. You're a professional, and they will expect you probably to be involved in your community. The other thing is building the foundation of knowledge. You're going to learn all these different topics in school, and I have a cute story to tell you. This is when I was in school. You're going to get exposed. I've met your faculty. You have top-notch faculty, and you're going to be learning all these different topics. And no more do you say, I'm never going to use that again. Remember all in undergrad, you take a class and you think, I'm never using that again. I will tell you, it's come back. There isn't any class that I took in school that I've gone back now and it applies now. Because you don't know where you're going to go. You don't know this path. There's a whole direction that you're going right now. And you're going to probably use everything, you just don't see it right now. And we talked a little bit about this yesterday. But back when I graduated from school, so I was a little bit of a smarty pants, and what I did is I went back after I graduated about a year afterwards, and I went and I said, I told my school, we learned all this stuff, it was really great, but you weren't teaching us, like there's more current information. You need to update your curriculum. So that's what I went back and said, and so they came back to me and they said, so Pam, did you learn the new material then? Oh yeah, I learned it. They just started laughing because that was the point of all this. They're teaching you how to learn all this. It's going to be constantly changing. This whole profession, just all of the drugs that are being used, everything's changing. The skills that you learn, it's really this journey that you learn. So that's why you want to learn everything that you can. Everything you can and get it down well, because it will, 10 years from now, 15 years, it's going to come back and you'll have had it ingrained in you. So today, as you put on the white coat, remember what it stands for, a sense of duty and selflessly serving the needs of the patient. I encourage you to find a way to serve those that are underserved, and you have so much to share, and I challenge you to give back. And accept the responsibility today as a new professional with eagerness, inquisitiveness, and anticipation. I know you will hone your talents, skills, and knowledge towards becoming the most respected members of this noble profession. So I just want to kind of finish up with towards the end of the poem from the Dr. Seuss. It says, today is your day, you're off to great places, you're off and away. We all look forward to see the places that you go. Congratulations and welcome to the pharmacy profession.
Thank you very much, Carol. That was excellent. I'm turning it over to Dr. Ward, our Assistant Dean for Student Care.
Thank you, Rear Admiral Schweitzer. White coat ceremonies have been used by schools of pharmacy and medicine as an outward sign of an inward and personal commitment to the profession. As our students walk across the stage, they will receive their coats and take the first steps of a lifelong commitment to the pharmacy profession. I will introduce each student by name, and each student will proceed to the center of the stage to be coated by the following faculty members: Dr. Wesley Kufel, Dr. Bennett Dowdy, Dr. Emily Lapine, and Dr. Amanda Logan. Guests, you're welcome to take pictures as your students walk across the stage. I ask you to be aware that the students need to get back to their seats, so please don't block any of the rows. Students, please stay seated until your row is called. With the first row, please line up in order of which you've been seated through the door to your right. Caroline Abdallah. Joy Adedeji. Rana Al Salman. Brianne Artizu. Jodele Bello. Helen Chen. Sherry Ann Claridge. Giomar Kandori. George Dartet. John Dora. Christina Eggleston. Emeka Inogwe. David Fama. James Felice. Tony Feng. Marissa Ferber. Emily Gibson. Vittori Jekka. Justin Gondek. Shakira Green. Julia Bardo. Kyrillos Gurkis. Jake Hayes. Laura Heinrich. Mavish Oda. Anthony Hopkins. Blessing Hunsu. Nicole Inc. Brian Can. Rachel Karasek. Diora Karimova. Larib Khan. Jumana Khatib. Diana Kakowski. Ricky Lamb. Adrian Langen. Angel Lenny. Paul Lee. Students in the second row, please stand up and line up along through the door to your right. Lowen. J.P. Marr. Jacqueline Markle. Shannon McGowan. Melissa McKnight. Anna Mehta. Evan Miller. Kevin Miller. Caitlin Moy. Kimora Nabieva. Julia Napoli. Chinedum Obiora. Nikesh Parikh. Julia Patterson. Alexis Perdue. Sue Few. Judith Pierre. Carlenes Quesada Sanchez. Motasim Rahman. Mohammed Raja. Ahmed Rashid. Courtney Red. Elizabeth Lucanti. Sengjukta Senroy. Raquel Sepul. Farida Sharif. Sandra Shivu. Corinne Stahura. Timothy Stock. James Summers. Alan Terry. Teswin Thengchen. Tiffany DeRuth de la Bellil. Katerina Tabinsky. Brandon Welsh. Peyton Wallison. Michelle Jung. Benjamin Yoon. Rafat Zaman. Everyone, give a round of applause for our class. Students, please stand with your candle. Part of your commitment to pharmacy is becoming a lifelong learner, as has been outlined today. The passing of the light of knowledge symbolizes that very real exchange of knowledge between you, your mentors, faculty members, and colleagues. You all hold in your hand an unlit candle. On either side of each row stands upper-class students who received the light of knowledge during their white coat ceremony last year. They are positioned to impart their knowledge to you so that you will grow in the profession of pharmacy. The upper-class students will light their candle and pass the light to the student at the end of the row, and those students will pass their light to their neighbors, symbolizing the exchange of that knowledge. This is just the start of your journey. Foster and nurture that light throughout your time here at Binghamton University School of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences and on into your career as a pharmacist. Upper class students, please light your candles and pass the light of knowledge. Students, please remain standing as I call on Dr. Gail Radinger to lead you in the pharmacy oath.
I'd also like to invite any pharmacists in the audience and on the podium who wish to retake the oath to stand and join the students in taking the oath. And before we get started, please remember that there's a picture after this in the bleachers that you have instructions on how to get to your white coat picture. All right, so I'd like to ask you to repeat after me for the oath of the pharmacist. At this time, I vow to devote my professional life to the service of all humankind through the profession of pharmacy. I will consider the welfare of humanity and relief of human suffering my primary concerns. I will apply my knowledge, experiences, and skills to the best of my ability to assure optimal drug therapy outcomes for the patients I serve. I will keep abreast of developments and maintain professional competency in my profession of pharmacy. I will maintain the highest principles of moral, ethical, and legal conduct. I will embrace and advocate change in the profession of pharmacy that improves patient care. I take these vows voluntarily with the full realization of the responsibility with which I am entrusted by the public. Thank you very much.
Thank you all for coming. This concludes our ceremony. Please, students, exit to your left. Any faculty members and advisory board members that want to join the students in the class picture, please go to the risers.